Hello, everyone. Welcome back. For anyone who doesn't know, my name is Sharon Parry, CEO and founder of Your Worth It Foundation. I'm a housing strategist, mostly low income housing strategist, and I'm talking about evictions. I did a previous post on the declaration of halting evictions, and now I'm doing this follow up video for people who have um, who are going through evictions, but you might have some issues with the declaration um, to be given to your landlord. If you missed the previous video where I touched on the 5 points that is needed in your declaration to your landlord, please look at that previous video. I will not be going over those 5 points in this video. I will be going over these points for people who might have some issues with the declaration for halting or stopping evictions until the CDC declared when September 4th to halt evictions until December 31st of this year, 2020. So let me give you some points on areas where you might have problems. And I'm reading it so I do not miss a point, even though it's short. I got a lot of things that I read, and I'm trying not to input additional information. Okay? The order does not provide any protection for evictions based on these follow-up points. So listen carefully if you or anyone you know that's going through an eviction. Let's be truthful with ourselves, know what our habits are, and how we live in other people's property. I'm saying this because these points follow up with what I just said. Okay, if you or the person that's going through an eviction has been engaging in criminal activity while on the premises, if you've been engaging in criminal activity while on the premises of wherever you're renting, the protection does not cover criminal mischief while on the premises that you're living to stop the eviction. Number two, if you or the other or someone you know has a habit of threatening the health or safety of other residents, you know, if you are a cantankerous person, if you are a person that flies off the handle quickly for situations, and it escalates quickly, this protection to halt eviction does not apply to stop the eviction from the landlord evicting you off the premises. Number three, listen carefully. Damaging or posing an immediate and significant risk of damage to the property. And I know a lot of us have pets, and because I have a pet myself, and when especially what you call it, dogs and cats tend to like scratching, And some puppies tend to like chewing. Not all puppies chew on rubber, because my previous dog liked to chew on wood. But I owned that house, so I had to fix it up myself. It wasn't a landlord type of issue. But if you're in a property and there's damage or posing immediate risk of damage to the property, it does not apply to you in stopping or halting, whichever word you want to use, the eviction of the landlord towards you or the person being evicted. So that also means please do not flood the people's property when they threaten to evict you. Do not what you call it um tear up the drywall when they threaten to evict you, and so on and so forth. Okay, number 4, violating any applicable building codes, health ordinance, or similar regulation relating to health and safety. Do not violate the other parts of your lease. And this does not include payment of the lease, because that's what we're talking about right now, which leads to point number 5, violating any other contractual obligation other than timely payment. Like I said, of course, the payment is not going to be timely, because that's the whole point of me talking about this in the first place. Of rent or similar housing payment related, including non-payment or late payment fees, penalties, or interest. So this only applies because this has been applied because the CDC wants to reduce the risk of people congregating together, large amounts of people, and reduce the influx of homelessness on the street. So that's why the eviction halt is going on until December 31st of 2020 thus far. So far, I haven't been notified of any changes at all. But it's very, very important that you stick to the other obligations of the lease. The payment, of course, you won't be able to stick to, because that's the whole point of the halt of eviction that we're getting at. This declaration and the bill that passed by the CDC is not to alleviate the financial impact on the community, because again, landlords still have to pay mortgages on the property if they don't own it full outright, and they still have to pay taxes and insurance on the properties. So that means the landlords will have to, of course, go for the loan protection program and some other subsidized programs out there for business owners, or if they have that type of liquid asset, which most of them don't, because they do a lot of extra things with their money, they'll be having to pay it out of pocket. And most people, if your landlord owns many properties, it'll pose to be very difficult if they're not able to get the loan protection for small businesses. So again, I'm going to go over it Again, quickly, these do not apply with protection of eviction. If you engage in criminal activity on the premises. Number 2, threaten the health and safety of other residents. Number 3, damaging or posing immediate significant damage or risk to the property. 4, violating any applicable building codes, health ordinance, or similar regulation related health and safety activity. Number 5, violating any other contractual obligation. Of course, that does not include payment, because this halt of eviction is because you're not able to pay. Okay? And again, the CDC did not pass this to alleviate the economic effects of COVID-19, but to prevent people from being dislocated from their places and to reduce large gatherings of people, especially people being evicted and gathering in already filled properties with other family members or friends. Again, my name is Sharon Perry, CEO and founder of Your Worth It Foundation, Inc., and I'm a housing strategist. We think outside the box. We're a nonprofit, donation-based company. Have a great day, everyone. And if you missed the first video about how to halt or stop the eviction process, please look at that video.